Hi ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Green. This is another in my lessons in Algebra 1. We're in Unit 4, and this is our lesson is going to be over multiplying and keeping things balanced. Okay, multiplication and division can be used to simplify algebraic expressions and equations. Solving an equation means finding the values that make the variable into a true equation and keeps that equation true. Okay? So you're going to be looking at what do we got to do to make this, what value do I have to give you for x that makes the equation true? So the opposite operation, I showed you this slide before. Last time we were talking about adding and subtracting being opposite of each other. This time, multiplying or dividing, or multiplying by the reciprocal, either way you want to think of that, works out to be the opposite operation. This is going to help you find the answer once you have the equation. So your first step should be to find the equation. Make certain you understand things correctly. I'll get into more of that later. But for right now, just realize that if you have an equation, the opposite operation of multiplying is dividing. Our concept here is that we're transforming the equations. We want to keep things balanced. Do whatever to one side as we do to the other side. Okay? And we're looking at division or multiplication, right? So, what do we do first? Do we do addition or multiplication? The answer is there is an order to things, and the order that comes to mind to begin with is PEMDAS, right? So if we're solving a problem rather than just using an expression and trying to find the value of it, which is what you use PEMDAS for, we're going to solve an equation by going backwards through it. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do is add or subtract to make the equation have just a variable on one side. And then we can multiply and divide. And that's how we'll be able to solve these problems. We're going to take the coefficient in front of things. Remember, if you take nothing else away from my lessons here, these first few that I'm doing, keep things balanced. If you do it to one side, do the same thing to the other side. That's where you'll keep things balanced. Okay, assume I've got this problem right here. 3x plus 4 is equal to 13. What I want to show you is one technique for solving this. Once I write 3x plus 4 equals 13, I'm going to draw a line. This line is going to go right through that equal sign. It's going to help me remember everything I do to one side of the line, I want to do to the other side. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to circle my variable x. Why? Because that's what I want to solve for. That's what I want to wind up with when I get down here to the bottom, x. Okay? Keeping that in mind helps me know what to do next. Now, 3x plus 4. Remembering PEMDAS, you add and subtract as the last thing. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to do that first. We're going to subtract 4. Why am I subtracting 4? Because it's being added to begin with, so I'm going to subtract 4. If I do it to this side, I better do it to this side. Subtract 4. So 4 minus 4 gives me 0. So 3x plus 0, identity property, says I get 3x. 13 minus 4, I can simplify that and get 9. Okay, I'm at this point right here. Now I see I've got a coefficient here, a 3. So what am I going to do? I'm going to either divide by 3 or multiply times 1 over 3. That's the reciprocal. When 3 divided by 3 is 1. The 1 implied there. It's not going to be there, right? 9 divided by 3, that's 3. I did the division. There's my answer. X is equal to 3. That's the way you go about solving these type of problems. Working backwards through PEMDAS and working through the problems. You can see I now have x, which is with the variable I had circled up here at the begin with. And I solved it and got a value for x equals some number. That's what we were trying to get to. We kept everything balanced by using this line. You can either think of it as a river or a line or whatever. Everything I do to one side, I've got to do it to the other side. So think of it that way, and it'll help you keep things balanced and in order. Okay? Well, I think I've worked through this. If you have any questions and you want to have bring them to me, please do so in tutoring or during Class Connect, and I'll be glad to try to look at them during those time frames. I look forward to seeing you next time we're together.